Yeah, I have two distinct lines that really speak to me and are authentic to me. And one of them is attract your ideal love story, because I believe in that ideal love story, where it's kind of like what you've been dreaming of when you want this person that you want to be with. Not just anyone, but the person you want. And the other one is you be the chooser. So that's where you choose the person that you want to be with. The first one.
Absolutely.
Okay. So just get rid of the attract your ideal love story. So you attract your ideal. But the other, the you be the chooser is like you choose.
Okay, so here's my thoughts on this.
You get chosen.
Sometimes what people do is they mistake brand message with product or service messages, and they're different. Okay, so we take Nike as an example. Nike's brand is just do it. Your brand message is what resonates at the core of the organization. What is the core value of the organization? However, if Nike have a pair of trainers that are targeted for children, then the product message, i.e. the advertising campaign, the messages might be slightly different for that specific product. They'll still be in line with the idea of just do it, but there might be an additional message for that particular product that's executed in the ad campaign. But the core message never changes. Does that make sense? So with yourself as an example, what I would say is that there is one of those two, and you need to do the homework both in terms of yourself but also asking your audience. One of those messages is at the core of the values of your brand. That's your brand message. One of them you might want to use as just a good campaign message with a particular, maybe you've got a book that you've got coming out that's maybe a message about, what was the second one?
You be the chooser.
You be the chooser. Maybe that's a book. It doesn't mean it's your brand core message. Does that make sense? It's like, for example, why are you asking them? I'm sorry, 1 second. Are they your target audience?
Well,
you don't even know, do you?
I mean, some of them are.
Who?
I'm not going to say.
No, who?
But some of them would be.
Okay, so only ask your, and this is so important, only ask your target audience. If I was Porsche and I asked you, should we make our brand feeling about status, what would you say? And what would you say?
Sorry, I missed the question.
Oh, if I was Porsche and I said, I'm going to sell a £120,000 car, should I make you feel status? What would you say?
Yeah, certain status, yeah.
Certain status. And what would you say?
Yeah, status.
And would you all buy it for £120,000?
No, because it's the wrong status for me, which was.
So they're not the target audience. Why do I care what they think?
If that's Aston Martin, then I might say yes, I would.
Okay, so you do like luxury cars.
It's a different status, though.
It's a different status. Okay, right. Do you see how I'm digging down? First of all, I haven't spoken to the women because Porsche are not talking to women.
You didn't ask me, why not?
Because Porsche are not talking to women.
Oh.
Their ad budget, remember this is all about money, their advertising budget is not talking to women. Because if it was, there wouldn't be another sexy blonde in the advert standing by the car. Because as women, we're like, oh, give me a break.
Exactly.
That's not our fantasy. Even if we are, not into men, that's still not our fantasy. She'll be doing something much more empowering, thank you very much, than doing this by the car. So they're talking to men. Now, why do I say this? It's so important. Everybody has an opinion in the world. You shouldn't care about everybody's opinion. You need to talk to your target audience. You need to ask the questions to your target audience. And if you don't know who your target audience are, they need to write that. You need to.
No, I know they are.
Great.
It's a bit like the VW advert with the lady with the sable fur coat, probably the 90s, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And that sold more VW Golfs because she dumped the coat into the bin. Do you remember that one? Yeah.
But already, I don't know the advert, but it sounds like it's spot on.
Empowered loads of women.
Of course
to
it
buy
did,
VW.
because we don't care about the
She was
bikini
done by
model.
The rich guy who given her the jacket and she put it in the bin and then.
She said, I don't need you, I just need my car, which was the message. Yeah. Powerful, look, there you go. There's their target audience. Key. Okay, let's talk about target audience, because I really want to drill this point home. So, By the time you've identified your target audience, you should be able to do what we call a consumer profile or a client profile. Okay? Your target audience, you need to think of them like a real person. And by the end of doing this exercise, you should be able to even name your person. That's how well you need to know them. Because I said from the beginning, marketing is no different to flirting. How can you get the guy if you don't know anything about him? How do you even know you want him if you don't know anything about him? So, when you're doing your consumer profile, what do you think some of the things are that you need to know? And I will put the first one. You need to know their age. What else?
What they like, what they don't like.
Okay. So,
Male, female,
good.
Income level.
Income. Gender.
pastimes, hobbies.
Hobbies.
Where they live, what they do for good.
Yep. Geographic.
Disposable incomes.
Good. Income. Spending power, we call that in marketing. It's really important because you want to know what they've got to spend on you. You said something, darling.
I said where they live and what they do for a living.
Okay. Career. What else do we need
What's
to know?
their pain? Like what's their struggle?
The psychology. I don't know how to spell it. That says psychology, people.
Actually, not bad. Good job.
Okay, thank you.
Just kind of got the Y in the S, but really it's good.
Okay, thanks. I've given up. I have an assistant.
You don't think specifically pain point, because if you're talking to a pain point.
Pain point? Okay, I'm going to put that down. I actually like that. I've never put that down before, but I like that. Yes. Their pain point. Yeah, she honed in what you said a bit more. Okay, what else do we need to know?
Be single or like
Yep, there's
single married.
yep, marital status. Mhm. Yep,
Children.
yep.
So family makeup.
Family, thank you.
Their image.
Hmm?
Their image.
Okay, I'm going to put that down. What do you mean? No, I'm not going to put that down.
If it's a middle-aged punk
Yep.
type of image, or it's a,
So is it their
or
values then?
well, I don't know. It's
It could be their
Could-
plan. It's more like what they wear. So
Yeah.
it could be.
So their
somebody-
style.
If they're a
Their
surfer
style, yeah.
type,
Their style.
If they have a style.
yeah, style.
But I think values is maybe a little bit more because your image will be birthed out of what do
I don't
you...
know what the word is, but
Yeah, values. Mhm.
What do they want? Like what are they
Needs. Oh, putting this right at the top. Which actually, I've never put pain points, but they are connected.
Yeah.
What they need is always birthed out of pain.
Beliefs.
Beliefs.
We're good at this. We've done this a few times.
You have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. What else?
What is their like their story? What are they saying to themselves? What's holding them? I know it's partly beliefs, but you know, kind of.
Is geographic location?
Geographic state, yeah.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
What's the blocks?
What's their blocks?
Blocks to success.
Yeah, it says pain
Blocks to the
points.
goals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beliefs. The one that's not on here, which people, because we live in a multicultural society, we forget it. But it's very important in today's one. Their religion. All right. So, since you guys have done this before, I'm only going to give you 2 minutes to literally, let's go to school like I would with my daughter. Draw your person. Yep, and stick. Okay? Draw your stick person. And answer all of this. And give that person a name. My consumer profile, their name is blup. They're between this age group, geographically they live here, religious status is this, income is that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to put the pound sign back up again because your target audience are the people who buy your products or services. And because we haven't got a lot of time, I'm just going to do this quick exercise before you do that. Tickets to go No. Let me word this another way. Disney, who is the target audience?
Children, adults, parents that take the children.
Well,
Parents who want to
teachers.
entertain their kids.
Okay, by a
Family.
show of hands, children. By a show of hands, parents.
I don't know.
Okay, it is not parents.
Children at night. the
And it's
parents take
definitely
over,
not
yeah.
children, because children, the last time I checked, my 4 has no money. No, mums. Disney's target audience are mums. Ladies, why is it mums?
We're the ones that have that emotional and want to give them all, they make them happy.
We've got emotional connection with Disney,
And women make 86% of the buying decisions.
and we make 86% of the buying decisions. But why is Porsche then not talking to us?
because that's one of the 14%.
It could be. It could also be because they're archaic and they haven't realised that actually you need to bring the wife along. But anyway, that's another story. Disney, let's stick with Disney. You have influencers of your target audience, children. You have influencers who give the pressure to your target audience, husbands or partners or extended family members. And then you have your target audience. Women,
What
in
did you say,
Disney's
the
case.
influencers?
The influencers,
Then they'll-
and then you have your second tier influencers, some people call it the peers to the target audience. So you might find your target audience peers might be bloggers and vloggers. In Disney's case, it's extended family or husbands, whoever's close to the mother. Whoever will say, stop buying those stupid dollies. But the target audience is women, mothers, aunties. Why? Because we have the emotional connection, having grown up on Disney ourselves. Okay, with that in mind, who is your consumer? And now I really will shut up. All right. I'm hearing lots of talking, which probably means we're done. It just makes the person more real.
Seeking controversial.
Absolutely. Okay, so Cindy asked a really good question. She said, why is it important to have a name? And the answer is because it makes your target audience more real. I don't know if you guys have done anything around visualization yet.
Can I say when I write my products, when I write my books, when I do that, I have actually literally pictures of real people that I've helped to keep in mind
Brilliant.
who my target audience
Brilliant.
is. Otherwise I get all,
That is
but I see them and then I remember exactly
Absolutely.
what the issues are and what I'm trying to solve.
It makes such a
You
difference
know,
to have a name.
and this is so important.
Close to her.
Business is about a service. And business is about, no, let me rephrase that. Business is about serving. And business is about solving problems. If you know whose problem you're solving, you will always make money. And you can tweet that out today if you want. If you know whose problem you are solving, you will always make money. The reason why people stop making money in their business is either they stopped understanding what problem they're solving, or they don't know who they're solving the problem for. And when you get your target audience, like you understand them like you understand your friend or a family member, then you can always sell to them. You can always solve the problem, and thus you will always get paid. Okay, so who wants to give me their profile? Who's up for it? You want to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Age 25 to 80.
So you say 25 to 80.
Yeah.
Okay.
They like change, feeling good, feeling confident, feeling empowered, feeling healthy, looking good. They dislike not being able to do what they want to do, not being confident, feeling stuck. Their hobbies are exercise, occupation. I've got mum, retired, work, spending power. I want to say lots, but I don't know that they've always got lots, but they've got enough. that make sense? I'm not really.
No, none of it. Anything you just mentioned makes sense. And I'll explain why in my very blunt way. All right, so let's go back to this. At some point, you have got to do some marketing to these people.
Yep.
And you said 25 to 80. Should I stop there? Okay. You asked me what is Instagram story, right?
Right.
Do you mind me asking your age bracket?
I have to check the over 55.
Okay, great. You have to check the over 55 box. If you speak to my 26-year-old niece, she probably has left Instagram story because there's something newer and cooler on the market. When it comes time to marketing, this is where your money comes in. You cannot market to everybody. You cannot market to 25 to 80-year-olds because you haven't got enough bloody money. And not just you, even Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola's demographic is 18 to 30. Everybody else is a byproduct. 18 to 30 because it's where their ad budget goes. It's where their promotional budget goes. It's where their marketing budget goes. The psychology of a woman at 25 versus 35 versus 45 versus blip, 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 75, it's so different that the message is, you're going to be doing this. You're going to be talking to everyone and thus no one, and no one will trust you or buy you because you haven't even spoken to them. So you've got to narrow it in. When you start to narrow it in, then you can answer the other questions. If she's 25 to 35, then you've got a gauge if she's a working person who values education and thus went to university, then you can gauge what her annual salary is and then you can gauge what her disposable income is.
Okay.
You can't gauge because you're going, everybody!
And can you, obviously you could have two target markets.
You can have,
Is it best just to stick with one and get on with that?
so brand building is a process, right?
Yeah.
Walt Disney, 150 years old. Walter Disney did not say, I want to create magic for young children, and ended up with a theme park and movies and animation and toys and. It doesn't work like that. So what I always say to my clients is, see this as you're building this brand until the day you take your last breath. And what do you want to do today? And even with Walt Disney, 150 years old, they are still only talking to mums, with the influencers being children. So actually, you don't need to make a lot of money to talk to everybody.
Yeah.
You need to make a decision. And if you did want to start broadening it out, like a Nike, then what I would say is start with one demographic for one product or service category, and as your business makes more money, then open it up.
Okay.
So Nike didn't start with the breadth of the product category that it has today, with the breadth of target audiences. It started in one area, one consumer base, and as the business grew, it introduced
But it's like
more.
that, isn't it? 'Cause they kind of say that, I don't know when they started, but they started with men, and then us women thought, oh, they look nice, I like something. So you don't even need to talk to all those people because that's how, like you say,
Absolutely. And even if you look at the Coca-Cola group, Coca-Cola the drink only talks to 18 to 30, but Coca-Cola the group have Fanta, have some kind of water drink and some kind of smoothie drink, because the group is the business. Okay. I don't know if anybody else wants to give me their profile now.
No.
Do you all need a minute? You ready?
Sure.
Let's go. Okay.
Her name is Karen.
Okay, good.
She has lovely hairstyle and makeup, Gucci bag, Valentino shoes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love specifics.
35 to 55 years old, puts on a good front, goes through the day fairly well, secretly unhappy, feeling not good enough. So some area of their life, career, marriage, but feels trapped to some extent, but old enough to recognize that they feel trapped. University educated, 50 to 85,000 pounds a year. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good. What is her religious beliefs?
Well, Christian,
Mm-hmm.
so target Christian.
Okay, good. Where does she hang out?
Don't know.
That you need to
In the
know.
mall.
Okay, in the mall where? Which mall? Where is she geographically?
Oh, in major urban centers.
Okay, and which one do you want to start with?
London.
Right. Why am I being so specific?
Because there has to be a starting point. Because
Also,
I can't target the entire world
You
all
cannot
at
flirt
once.
with a man if you don't go to where he is. So if you know, what does she do? Does she like going to the
She's a
gym?
self-help junkie.
Great. So maybe she goes to yoga, she goes to church on a Sunday, or does she just go to church once a year at Christmas, at Easter? Right? Because if she goes to church only once a year, don't start flying outside of the church every Sunday because she won't be there. You cannot flirt with your man or woman if you don't know where they are. That's why you answer the questions around hobbies, around religion, around beliefs. Because when you, God, where have I put it? When you know what her hobbies are, you know what she's buying. Is she buying Vogue or Glamour? Is she buying the local newspaper or the Sunday Times? Otherwise, you're going to do a PR campaign and be putting your story in the wrong place. She goes to networking. Which networking does she go to? I spoke to someone once, and they were at a women's networking event that was probably the demographic you spoke, 35 to 55. And their target audience was city men. I said, what the hell are you doing here? Oh, because it's close to my house. Oh, so you're a lazy bugger then, are you? Get down to Liverpool Street and join a finance networking group and go and get your target audience. If we don't know where they are, we don't know where to go. All right, who else? That was good, though, by the way. Just hone in on the rest. Anybody else?
Mine's, yeah,
Please.
probably 45 to 55, could be male or female. Dress would be smart business dress, so you have to sort of mirror that. Probably trouser suits for women, suits for men. In terms of spending power, translate that to budgetary power, so they'd have to be budget holders and have discretion over the way in which that budget is used. They would generally have families in terms of religion, mainly Christian, but be across other religions as well, and understand the need for that. And the needs would be that they need someone to take some of the pressure off their hands.
And what do they do?
Chief execs, ops directors.
Outside of work, where are they?
Oh, well, they would generally be doing sporty type things and family type activities. So at the age they are and the income they've got, they'd probably be into things like mountain biking, walking, football, more traditional things.
Great.
Lunching.
Great.
You know, especially for the women, do a lot of network lunch type things with other women in the same environment.
Great. And what sort of trade publications do they read?
HSJ.
Okay. And what sort of mainstream publications do they?
Times.
And where are they online?
Online, that's an interesting one. Probably, if anywhere, on LinkedIn.
Good. So you don't need a Facebook account then
No.
to talk about our earlier conversation?
No.
Right. Because if they are on Facebook, they might just be using it for
It's
personal
stuff.
use.
It's what I use, and you've got to be very
Right.
careful then about what you
Of course,
post.
of course.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Good. Andrew, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Anybody else? Go ahead, Neil.
Eventually, I want to do seminars, right? That's what I want to do eventually, and it'd be like 35 to 45-year-old, and it'd probably be females,
Okay.
because they're more into like spiritual sort of kind of direction and looking for stuff. And the pain point would be curiosity. It'd be spiritual bankruptcy. Their needs would be direction. Hangout places would be groups, self-help groups within online, and also out in the communities a lot kind of Brahma Kumaris and different Sidra Jaffrey, different free spiritual stuff. Meditation would be part of their hobbies, incest sticks. The clothing is like a tribal clothing with spiritual people, like Buddhist and little singlets.
I'm going to stop you. Can they afford your audit, your services, the client base you just talked about?
Yeah,
Do they care to pay for it?
yeah.
Why? If they're already there, healing already, why
They
you?
wouldn't be healing, they're still searching. You know, if you're searching for a spiritual direction,
Okay.
then you brand it in something that's the new direction. We're moving away from the secret,
Yep.
and we're going into vibration. Everything
Okay.
works in vibration
Okay.
rather than like
All right. Let me
attraction.
keep asking some questions then. Where are they hanging out online?
Spiritual healing group. If
Okay.
you Google spiritual healing, you'll
Yep.
get groups.
Yep. I'm just wondering. I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a challenge. I'm wondering whether or not they're going to buy your service, or if it's worth you, if it's going to be more commercially viable for your business to just go outside of that group already. Because I'm wondering whether or not there's a group of people out there who are not in those groups because they don't even know they exist,
Well,
but they're still searching for something.
That would be a process where you start with exposing yourself and what you're selling.
But you can't expose it if you don't know where they are.
Can
Yes.
I just reflect that from what you said there has never struck me as what your target audience would be. So that's quite a surprise for me. And I don't know when you're
I
doing it.
have
I'm
a
not-
10-year plan, and that's my
Yeah.
10-year
Okay.
plan.
No, I don't. No. Tell me
No,
about your.
listen to
Tell
this
me
now.
about your plan. I don't care about your 10-year plan because
Yeah.
you might not make any money tomorrow to get there
Right,
10
right.
years.
But I'm working just now, so it's not a case that I have a product that I'm going to get money. So
But let's just go on, Andrew.
When you do your talks with the footballer, who's the audience there? Because they're not these
yeah,
guys, are they?
that's right. But this footballer talk's not. That's
Well,
the,
that's your-
the actual brand would be my talking. Because if I can talk well, I can sell anything.
Okay, but Neil, you came up to me. You
your
came up to
brand
me.
is you, though, and your
Yeah.
brand, I think, is you and your
Yeah.
story and talking to other people who either like you or are heading down the path. And you've got a lot of
Yeah.
people to go at.
Neil?
haven't
Sorry,
Sorry.
you came up to me and you gave me your card
Right.
and you said if you know any celebrities that are, what was your words? Because it was so strong and powerful. What did you say to me? Tell everybody.
Any celebrity, any people that are any of your friends that are footballers or celebrities and will get drinking, drugs or gambling as they come and see me.
Okay, that
Yeah.
is a target audience.
Right.
Those people will
I
pay
think-
you.
I think somebody said that I have two things.
Okay, we'll start with one.
Yeah, because I have the recovery coach.
Start with one and start with the one that's going to bring you in the most money quickly so that you can then build onto others. Sometimes what happens is we get so stuck trying to do everything.
And that's what it was. That's exactly. I thought a bit like Andrew sort of thing. It's a case of like I don't know where I'm going, but I've got too much to choose from.
Hone in.
Neil,
Yeah.
can I just throw out an idea for you to think about?
Yeah.
There's big money in sober companion work.
Mm.
So whether that's Gamblers Anonymous, whatever that is, there's big money in sober companion work, particularly amongst celebrities.
Mm.
Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of one-on-one with you at some point today because I feel like yourself and you over here, I just want to do this. Hone you two in a little bit more, especially you. So we're going to chat in the lunch. Is that all right?
That's cool. Yeah.
Good. Okay, let's move on to somebody else. Profile. Yeah. Oh, come back. Go ahead.
All right, I can do it. So it's female, age 35 to 60, high income, like 100,000 plus, can drop a little below that. They're higher educated, very similar to what your market is, at least university degree, post-grad. They're reading New York Times, Financial Times, Harvard Business Review, those sorts of things. The values are they're ethical, they want to work hard, they have devotion to what they're doing, the family life, they could be married or unmarried, doesn't really matter. What they like, feeling and looking good, so they're going to invest in clothes, they want to feel powerful by what they're wearing, etc. The dislikes, being ignored, being overlooked, feeling they don't have enough time to do what they want to do. Their hangouts, so if they're online, they're doing shopping, they may
Where?
Clothing places.
Which ones? Are they Net-a-Porter or ASOS?
Net-a-Porter.
Good. Hone it in. Shopping online, what does that mean if you need to do a strategic partnership with a retailer?
Okay.
Yeah?
Fine, thank you.
You're welcome.
They belong to clubs, so they like to stay fit. So they've got sports clubs, could be a tennis club. They like playing golf.
Great.
Um,
Country club or city clubs?
they're city people, so I'm looking for metropolitan.
Good.
people.
Now, I just want to stop you because you're on the right track. Why I'm firing. When it comes to the marketing, we're going to talk about this afternoon, you're going to need to be doing strategic partnerships. You're going to be needing to have teams out there networking on your behalf because you can't be everywhere. You're going to be needing to do PR campaigns. All of those things that I've just mentioned cost you zero, by the way. So I haven't mentioned billboards because what's the point? If you don't know specifics, you don't know who to do partnerships with. If you say they're online shopping, what, on eBay, Amazon, ASOS, Boohoo, Net-a-Porter, like where are these women shopping? Because that's where you go to do your strategic partnerships. If you want to be connecting with them, and I say to you, I was coaching you, Cindy, and I said, right, a task for this month is I want you to go out to 5 clubs to network. If you don't know if they're city-bound, you might end up in Surrey, you might end up down by me in Kent at the Isle of Sheppey, or you might be in Liverpool Street. You've got to be specific because that will alleviate money being wasted and time being wasted. Now, it's better to have specifics and get those wrong than be generic and do nothing right. Because if you're specific and you say it's a country club and you go to Surrey, you might bump into 1 or 2 women and then you realise, actually, I need to be in Liverpool Street. I need to be in the city more. But at least you're still getting something right. Okay, can I ask yours?
Mine.
Yes, please.
Okay. So male or female, 30 plus. They live in a 4-bedroom ensuite detached house.
30 plus to what's the top end for you?
55.
Okay, good. 30,
They've got
40. Can I challenge that a little bit more?
Yeah.
Only reason, there's a rule of thumb that your age demographic shouldn't be more than 10 to 15 years. And that's just because of the psychology of the consumer. Your 30-year-old versus your
40 to 55.
40 to 55, perfect.
They've got a 2-car drive with private entrance, conservatory, possibly with hot tub, quite big gardens. They eat a lot of meals out. They eat gourmet ready meals, brunch at weekends. They try to be healthy, but they're overindulged or tempted by chocolate, alcohol and crisps. Drinks, they drink coffee or green tea, alcoholic, good wines. They're well-dressed, brand names, even when they dress casually, things like, for women, like mint velvet, that kind of thing. They look slim, maybe slightly overweight around the middle with tired eyes. Their greatest pain is their work encompasses all. They've got no time to spend with their family. They've got children, more than one, probably in private school. They've got a nanny and or babysitters, childcare. The kids are in trouble around the edges. Their income's sort of 40 plus.
40 plus
40
being, what's the top end? Because
Probably more than that, actually.
okay.
Yeah.
It sounds like it should be more based on the person.
Yeah.
They're professionals, looking at lawyers.
Lawyers.
That kind of thing, so yeah, a lot more than that.
Yeah. And you might need to do just a little bit of digging, but I probably think you're looking at the 80,000 plus based on what you just described.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd go up.
You'd go up more
200.
to 200,000?
No, yeah, and probably both working to make.
Well, it just depends on who she wants to solve a problem for.
Yeah.
Is it middle management or are they at boardroom level? Just depends on who you want to solve the problem for.
I thought you were solving problems for the kids.
That is the kids. That's the parent. The parents one.
Right. Okay.
Because it's the parents who are going to pay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I
The
need
kids
to.
are an influencer in the fact if the kids are starting to get into trouble
Yep.
and causing problems
Yep.
on the edges.
Then what I
But
need to hear a little bit more is around their values, around their family and their children. That you need to work on a bit more. What is the relationship dynamic between them and their children? Because their children might not be the influencers. It might be their peers. It might be actually, I don't want little Johnny behaving like this because it makes our name look bad.
Yeah.
Not because they
It's
actually give a
about-
shit about
there's
little
things
Johnny.
About, inadequacy of parenting as well, how they look to.
But this is key. Did you hear what I just said? And there's a big difference. There's a difference between I care, and I'm going to use the word I just used. I care. No, I won't use that. I care about little Johnny versus I care about my status. And therefore, little Johnny needs to get in line. Because the value systems and the psychology of that person are different. And thus, the marketing language you will use will be completely different. You come at them with airy-fairy, be a good parent. They've already heard that and they don't care because their £250,000 job is more important to hit that deadline.
But they wouldn't be seen as a good apparent because that's part of the values of probably their corporate life.
Okay, so therefore it's about status.
Yeah.
It's not about actually caring about little Johnny. And therefore your language needs to change.
So
And it causes a problem, their behaviours cause a problem because they're working all hours.
Yeah.
They get called out to
And
deal with stuff.
And what I'm hearing from you, I didn't catch your name,
Katie.
Katie, I'm hearing your values seeping through on this. And therefore I worry as a marketeer that when I read your marketing material or your copy, I'm going to hear your values and it's not going to resonate with the person whose problem you're trying to fix. It's a little bit like if you're trying to fix that junkie who's a footballer who earns 80,000 a week and you start talking your language, he ain't going to get it. You need to talk his language. And his language is that 80,000 is going to dry up with just one injury, my friend. And then what? You need to tap into his fear, not your fear. Their language, not your language. Does that make sense? And it's really important when we get outside of our head and start thinking about our end user and what makes them tick. What will make them pick up a brochure? What will make them stay on your website? Your brand values still remain the same because it's who you are, but the way you communicate it is slightly different. Do they actually care about their children, or do they care about how they're perceived as parents? Okay, who else? Yeah. Oh no, actually you said before. Sorry, I'll come to you. Go ahead, my darling.
That's okay. So I have Susie. I have 4, but I'm going to target on
Julia.
Julia.
Yep.
Susie, she's 38.
Why do you have 4? Stop.
Because
Why?
there are 4 different characters. When I did this exercise before, when I had to think about who I'm targeting, I realized I was always targeting kind of one kind of person, but actually what I'm getting for most of who can afford me was a totally different kind of person. And
So therefore, who can afford you is your target audience. I'm going to stop you.
Because I'm coming out with an online product that they can afford.
So therefore, you've now jumped into the product section.
Yeah.
I asked you about your brand.
Well, my brand at the moment is targeting Susie.
Good.
Okay.
Here are my specifics. Now, this is why. Let me use me as an example, okay? So I have various different product categories. So you can have a price point of £40 and buy a DVD. You can have a price point of 60,000 and get a campaign. Who am I investing advertising money to? Who do you think is going to give me the highest return of investment? Exactly. So my website, my marketing, my social media has the highest bidding person in mind. My brand doesn't change.
Except that my brand is targeting Susie, but Matthew keeps coming in and asking me for help.
Okay, so who do you want to solve a problem for?
Both. Because
Why?
my heart wants to help Susie,
Yep.
and my wallet wants Matthew.
Okay, so is this a hobby or is this a business?
Well, it's both, because Susie's paying, and Matthew's paying.
Okay, see, you're confusing me, which tells me
There's totally different services.
who's paying the most consistently on a regular basis.
They're both paying, because it's 50-50 at the moment. So she's paying for the online product, for my books, for even for coaching.
Yep.
And he's paying mostly for coaching and sometimes for group coaching.
So therefore, yeah, go on.
Can I have the same problem.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay. So ideally, my target audience, as I said, are women. But if you were to ever look at the demographics of who actually buys my stuff, there's more men that buy my stuff than women, but I'm still targeting women.
so I'm targeting her.
And that's
in the
because,
newsletter.
let me tell you what's happening here. You've got a Disney scenario. You've got an audience, you've got a consumer and an influencer
That's
going on.
exactly.
So you keep talking to the influencer and the consumer's going to buy.
Right, so I'm talking to her.
Yep.
Everything I do
Yep.
talks to her.
Yep.
But now I'm like, okay, there's him. He's just waiting for workshops. He's waiting for more work.
Okay.
So now
He's a byproduct.
He's a byproduct. Are you,
but I
so
am
it sounds like
taking
you're
the workshop
Coca-Cola.
for him.
He's a
It sounds to me like you're Coca-Cola. And that's okay. Coca-Cola, $1 billion business. Coca-Cola talk to 18 to 30-year-olds, millennials who want fizzy drinks and feel alive. But when I'm bloody tired, I buy a Coca-Cola. When I want to chill, I have Coca-Cola with my rum and Coke. When I'm being a naughty mummy, my daughter has Coke with her Happy Meal. Really naughty mummy, which doesn't happen very often because normally it's orange juice. But anyway,
So I'm talking to her.
Thank you. In your mind, I want you, when you leave me, I want you to think, am I a Coca-Cola? Am I a Disney? Am I a Nike? Coca-Cola, they stayed with the same demographic for all their years, and everybody else is a byproduct. Disney, speak to the influencer to get the mum. And Nike have a target audience per product category with the same brand message. Which one are you? Which one are you? And you might not know today. It might be something you want to think about.
Yeah, I mean, it's something I've been thinking about a lot because he's there.
Okay.
He's waiting for me to do something for him.
Mm-hmm.
That's why.
And, okay,
And
what
it's
is
totally
your...
different.
Let me ask you this.
He has the same desires
Mm-hmm.
in a way.
Okay, let's cut down to business. Okay? I like money, me. So branding, when I talk branding, after I've finished talking about all the lovely stuff of emotional connection, all that emotional connection needs to turn into pounds and dollars, otherwise you're just having a hobby. Okay? So, what is your commercial target for your business
Yeah, so that's
by...
her.
You don't even know what
Oh,
question.
sorry.
What is your commercial target for your business by the end of this year? Approximately, because we don't all need to know your business. Approximately.
Oh, I have a number.
You have a number.
I'll tell you.
Okay, tell me what. Okay. Who is going to get you there quickest, fastest?
Probably her.
There's
Because
your
she's already started.
There's your answer.
I've been doing her for a year.
There's your answer.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, my darling.
So, say, like you're saying to Julia, she needs. Matt's going to get her there. Was his name Matt?
Matthew's the second.
Matthew. So, Matthew's going to get her there quicker. Let's just say, but Susie is who she's now
Yeah, and
working with.
Susie's there.
So she's paying, like say, let me turn it around to me.
Yes.
So I'm teaching older retired ladies mainly.
Yep.
Yeah. But they've got money to spend and they're quite good, but not enough money for me.
Yeah.
I want to earn more money.
Yep.
How do I then transition? Because if I now put my website, say
Yeah,
I want to
exactly.
go into corporate where they can pay me lots more money.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm building my website, but I'm going to lose my money that I'm already earning.
Good
I
question.
have the same.
Okay, good question. So I'll turn it on to what I did.
Okay.
So corporates pay me the most money, yeah? They're the 60 grand a year campaigns. But I've outgrown it. I'm no longer interested. That's the truth. I don't care about another London Fashion Week campaign. So what I said is I want to, in my business plan, be in a position in 2 years where what I really care about brings in the same as or more than what I'm currently getting. So all I've done is shifted my website slightly. Now remember, it's still the same brands, because if you're going from Coca-Cola to McDonald's, there's a whole other business. But if it's still Coca-Cola, and in my case, it's still brand building, but just a slightly different demographic, what I've done is I've kept my portfolio page, because that is what the corporates care about. What have you done, and who have you done it for, and when did you do it? But everything else talks to the demographic that I'm trying to pull in. It doesn't deter away from the corporates because they get what they need. As soon as they get on the website, there it is, portfolio page, click on that. But they can see the way I've worded it, that there's a give back going on. That's how I've worded it. I've been doing this for so long, I now want to give back to startups. It's none of their business that behind the scenes we are working our butts off to develop that side so that I no longer have to do the corporates. It's all about how you communicate it. So you might say on your website, remind me specifically what you do?
Mine's body coach.
Body coach, and elaborate. What product am I buying?
Yoga, I get people out of pain in their body.
Okay, how? What's the product I'm buying? A yoga class?
Yeah.
And what else?
And then also stuff for the mind, so like meditation, NLP, hypnosis.
What is the product I'm buying? Like literally, what am I, give you £10, what am I getting back?
So you could have a class, you could have a one-to-one session, you could go on a retreat, you could have a DVD,
Good.
CD.
Yep, so you've got 5 product categories and service categories at the moment?
Yeah, workshops, so maybe 6.
Okay, 6, right. If I was you, what I would do is I would segment my website, product categories per demographic. If you go to Nike Corporate, it's exactly what they do. Nike, the brand is the same. Your brand essence cannot change. Your just do it can't change. But when you go there, you're seeing imagery for Nike women, you're seeing imagery for Nike kids, you're seeing imagery for Nike men. The brand can't change. I can't overstress this, okay? Your just do it can't change. But your products then talk to different. So you might say, my retreats are for corporates. And what I would do to be clever is I'd probably keep them all women for now. Women in corporates, women who are older, just because your brand trust hasn't been built long enough to diversify gender yet. It makes sense to the end user for it all to be women because the link is women.
Okay, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And what you're saying to women is maybe, if I was coaching you, if I was working with you, I'd be saying maybe what you're doing is transitioning women from different phases of their lives. So maybe that woman who's working, and then once she transitions to retirement, you're working with her there. Does that make sense?
Can you just say that very last bit again?
Sure. So, okay, let's use us three as an example. Rough approximate age?
For
you, personally?
over 50.
No.
How old are you?
Yeah.
Really? Over 50? And your tick box is over 55?
I'm close to 60.
Okay, good. So let's use the three of us, okay? So I'll tell you what I am. I'm 37. So if I were you, what I would do is I would use this as an example. I would have your website and all your marketing materials showing how you take Kubi from being busy mummy, working, the juggle of work, child, about to be married, so now I've got to cater for a man, second child, girlfriend still, because I still like my social life and going out, still want to be able to wear 4-inch heels, even though practically I know I need to be in flats, like the psychology of me, still toying between thinking I'm young and cool on Instagram stories, really because my staff tell me I have to be there, and actually what I buy is the Sunday Times on a Sunday, right? That's where I'm at. Versus, I'm going to make assumptions here, left Instagram stories, not even pretending I'm still 30, buy the Sunday Times, Guardian, no papers, no newspapers.
The Financial Times.
The Financial Times, and the Sunday Times, New York Times, same family. Okay, great. Yep. 2, she knows she no longer needs to wear 4-inch heels. She's past it. She's not even still trying to hold on to when you're 20, you're proving a point. I'm still holding on a little bit. I'm still there. She's past it. She's much more comfortable in her skin. This is the reality. This is the journey of women. Then you get to, on a Sunday, do I buy anything?
I read online.
Read online, okay? And do you believe any of them?
No, it's a soap opera.
There you go. See that?
It's a
Oh,
soap opera.
I know it's a soap opera, but I've got subscriptions. You probably, do you have subscriptions?
Online.
Online only, so you're not wasting all your money with them because it's all a bit of bullshit, really. Propaganda.
Don't even bother.
Don't even bother with subscriptions.
Just
So,
when I need it.
so there you go. So if you, I wasn't willing to talk about Trump. We're being recorded. I have a brand. I still need to make money. She was willing to go there about Trump. Couldn't give 2 hoots about the recording because she's past, exactly.
Past the point.
Past the point. So what I would do if I was you, and this is why it's important to know your consumer like a person. I'm talking to Kubi, Cindy, and Susan, as an example. How does my service solve a problem for Kubi where she is, Susan where she is, and Cindy where she is, and Susan where she is? And that's how I would do it. Kubi's still in the corporate place. So Kubi, you haven't got time to come out to my yoga class. I'm coming to your workplace.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Susan, I might come to your workplace or your business, but you might be able to spare a couple of weekends in a year to fly off to wherever. Sorry, Cindy. And Susan, she's like, I'm not even there anymore. I'll go because I've got time. And I can. Yeah? That's what I would do with you.
Okay. That's perfect. Thank you.
Does that help anybody else out? Does that help you out?
Yes, sort of.
Good. Okay, I haven't
Sorry
picked
to
on
go
you
there.
for a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
while. You being, I like to know names.
Oh, Jenny.
No, Jenny, next to Jenny.
Yeah.
Tia, that's it. I should remember. That's my niece's name, Tia. Okay, target audience, please.
Moms in their 30 to 50.
Okay. I want you to narrow that a little bit, but
Yeah.
to 15 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And they are
It's
divorced.
wisdom. Susan, it's wisdom.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
divorced
Mhm.
and have children.
Mhm.
They live in the city,
Mhm.
and they are mostly business women,
Mhm.
and they like to do yoga and take care of their health and spiritual body.
Great. And where are they hanging out?
Yeah,
What media are they consuming?
I'm not sure about that. So
Okay.
I was thinking about going to five. You said something about going to 5 places
Mhm.
and target the audience.
And talk to them.
Yeah.
If you don't know the answers to some of these with your consumers, ask them. When what do I use social media for? You were asking me about the different social media platforms. Twitter, I use it to listen. I follow Twitter accounts of groups or individuals that fall into my target audience, and me and my team, we listen. What are they talking about? What are they reposting? What do they care about? What are the new trends in their world? I use it to listen and then take that information to either develop new products or be able to communicate my messages more powerfully. So that's what I use Twitter for. And then I'll post whatever's on Instagram, I'll repost it on Twitter. But I don't really care about Twitter. It's a listening platform for me. When I come to things like this, I'm listening to you guys to work out what is the next book that I need to write? What is the problem that needs to be solved? I'll go to networking events, not because I need to go, because I've got contacts coming out of my posterior, but because I need to listen. I need to talk to the end user. I will put out a question on Facebook Live. Guys, I'm thinking about a new radio show. Shall I call it Business Gossip, Business This, or Business That? And they chose Business Gossip. All right, you want Business Gossip? That's the name of my radio show. Personally, me and my co-host think the name's a bit... But my audience, they want it a bit light. They don't want it Bloomberg, but they want the information. Business Gossip it is. Yeah? Okay, what's the time check? Because I'm feeling like we're stopping for lunch.
12:15.
Ooh, good on it. Okay, let's stop for lunch. Is it an hour?
Yeah.
An hour. So I'll see you back at 1:15. You can grab me in the lunch break and...